Alright, so quite recently I switched to the iPhone 12 as my daily driver, and one of the driving forces for me to make this jump from Android to iOS after such a long time was the cameras on these new phones. And that in itself says a lot about how good the iPhone 12's cameras are. But let's dive into a little more detail about it. What's up guys, Anvif here, welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. In today's video, we are taking a look at the camera of the iPhone 12 and figuring out whether it really is the best value for money when it comes to buying iPhones in 2020. With that said, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and without any further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so this is the iPhone 12's dual camera setup. Now the first one here is a standard wide sensor, which is a 12 megapixel sensor with an aperture of f1.6 with optical image stabilization at a focal length of 26 mm, and the second one is a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor with an f2.4 sensor which has a 120-degree field of view, which is around 13 mm in focal length. Now let's put the specs aside and talk about video for a second. Now as far as video is concerned, the rear camera can record up to 4K 60 fps and 240 fps slow-mo in 1080p, which is in standard definition, which is SDR, and a little more about this a little later. And also one of the newer features in this year's iPhone, the reason I mentioned it's standard SDR video and not HDR is because these iPhones for the first time ever, in fact any phone ever, can have the ability to record in 10-bit Dolby Vision HDR. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about what Dolby Vision HDR is, but just so you guys have an idea, HDR stands for high dynamic range, and these cameras can shoot 10-bit HDR video, meaning the blacks will be deeper, the video will be brighter, the dynamic range will be better, the colors will pop more, and in general the videos will just look better because they'll work at a bigger spectrum compared to normal HDR video. Now in case you guys want to know a little more about what HDR video is and what are the things that you can do with this year's iPhone lineup, I'll leave a link to my good friend Kostab's video, and he has a channel called Katie Cloudy where he talks extensively about all of this in a very fun way. So hit the card above and let him know that you came from AR channel, AR squad, Katie squad. Let's do this. As far as the front camera is concerned, you've also got a 12 megapixel sensor with an f-stop of 2.2, again 23 mm, and it also very impressively can record up to 4K 60 fps. This is the front camera that we're talking about, and 1080p 120 fps with similar HDR capabilities. Now as far as slow-mo is concerned, I still feel like it is sort of a gimmick because you can't really get very usable slow-mo, at least from smartphones. So if you're going to be doing some actual videography stuff on it, you're going to be using 4K 2430 or 60 fps for a little bit of slow-mo. Now, alright, now that the tech specs are out of the way, I mean, it's just a lot of tech mumbo-jumbo that not a lot of us really care about. I think one of the most important things to know is the fact that when it comes to smartphone photography and videography, what happens after you've clicked the shutter button vis-a-vis the software and the optimization matters a lot more than the hardware and the sensor that you are using. We've seen this before with Google's Pixel, and the way you optimize images and videos after they have already been shot and recorded is what makes a smartphone camera good, because all of them are mostly using the same sensors, and there's only so much you can do when you have a very tiny sensor. With that out of the way, I have been testing the cameras on the normal base iPhone 12 since day one, and here are a few samples so you can judge the photos for themselves. As far as the rear camera pictures are concerned, the pictures are solid and very well balanced. Now there's enough detail, and one of the best things that I like the most is how both the cameras, the ultra wide and the normal wide camera, have consistent results with regards to white balance and the quality in general. That's what you want. You don't want different dynamic ranges and consistency on the different lenses. You want them to look as close to each other as possible, which is here, and that's very well. Now the camera can get some really good results, and considering that these are the same sensors on the 12 Pro other than the extra telephoto sensor, which is an entire different segment in itself, it just screams about how good the cameras are and how good smartphone cameras can be. Now as far as the front camera is concerned, selfies are also very good. They have a lot of detail. The portrait mode camera is also really good, and the portrait mode on the rear cameras are also good. Again, samples are up on the screen right now, so you guys can take a decision for yourselves. And it does have a few hiccups with edge detection with more complex structures like a lot of hair, but most importantly, it performs really well to give off a smoother bokeh fall off and stuff like that. So it works really well, and I really like it. All right, let's move on from this topic a little bit. Photos are great on this camera. Everybody knows that iPhones have a reputation of being really good cameras when it comes to clicking photos on it. But here's the thing, iPhones are also exceptionally well with their video cameras, and this time they weren't kidding around. And this is the main reason I got it, and honestly, they have done an amazing job on it. That's how good it is. I mean, I could vlog with this, I could even shoot a short film with just this phone and a mic. No gimbals, no tripods, that's how good this is. Now, first things first, again, a cinematic video test has already been done by yours truly, card above. If you haven't checked it out before, what are you guys doing? Definitely check it out. And yeah, come back to this video once you're done with that. But either way, first things first, this phone does not require anything. And by that I mean you do not require a tripod, you do not require a gimbal. Everything that you could get stable footage with is already included in the phone. Just hit the record button and see it for yourself. This kind of stabilization on a phone going off script I have never seen before, and I am super happy that I went with this because I just wanted a great video camera for my smartphone, for run and gun shoots, for B-roll shots, for anything that I could do with the comfort of a smartphone camera. Now, if you watched that video, the video test that I have done, believe me when I say this, this is the best goddamn video I have seen in a smartphone. Period. The stabilization is incredible, the quality is great, shooting in 60 FPS is just buttery smooth, and most importantly, again, if you're shooting in 30 or 24 FPS, you have the ability to shoot in Dolby Vision HDR, which is in a league of its own. And while it is difficult for me to demonstrate it on camera because you guys are watching this on YouTube and this is a standard definition range or SDR video, again, go over to Katie Cloudy's channel and you'll understand. You can also find some samples on the internet if you really want to nitpick. But all in all, that's about it for the iPhone 12. This is a great phone, especially if you get it for the cameras. And while I did miss the telephoto lenses while I was shooting with it, I feel like the price gap, especially here in India, between the base iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro, just for that telephoto lens is, a very big price gap, and it's not justifiable, at least not for me. In conclusion, the iPhone 12 has probably the best set of cameras I have had the pleasure to use, and I think if you're looking for a phone, not necessarily an Android phone, that can take really good video, because I feel like Pixel does a pretty good job of even doing better than iPhone 12 when it comes to sheer photo quality. But if you want video, this is a very good camera. And oh, I totally forgot, the night mode is incredible. There is absolutely no grain. I was shocked when I clicked some pictures with it in low light. Even low light video is great. And yeah, I just feel like this is a great phone to get, especially if you're in for the cameras. That is it for today's camera review, guys. The main review of an Android user switching to iOS after 8 long years about the iPhone 12 is gonna come up really soon on this channel. A lot of interesting things are planned. Hope you guys will stick around for it. With that said, this is Anubhav signing out. I'll catch you guys next time. Until then, you guys have a great day, stay safe, and yeah, peace out. Bye-bye.